How are you doing, math learners? This is your free access YouTube educator, Math Teacher Ash, and welcome to the first ever reviewer series in preparation for the Term 1 examination for Mathematics 8. Yes, it is the first time because the DepEd Philippines is now conducting for the first time ever the tri-term calendar. So in this video, we will be discussing 50 questions and we will divide that into 5 parts so that it will be bite-sized in your studies. So make sure to finish all 5 parts. And if you are new to the channel, please click the subscribe button and notification bell for you to be updated of these cool clear math videos just like this. So without further ado, let's do this. Question number 1. What is the result of 9a minus 5a? Is it 4a? Is it 3a? Is it negative 4a? Or is it 14a? What do you think is the answer? Okay, my dear math learners, this question is very easy because what you need to do is you just subtract the numerical coefficient and copy the literal coefficient. So in this case, 9 minus 5, that is positive 4. And copy the a, so that is 4a. That should be the first statement. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? Now let us go to the next question. A line segment connects the points negative 6, 2 and positive 2, 8. What is the midpoint of the line segment? Is it negative 2, 3? Is it positive 2, 3? Is it negative 2, 5? Or is it positive 2, 5? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, in order to answer this question, what you need to do is you add both the x coordinates and you add both the y coordinates. Then the result of each answer will be divided by 2. So in this case, negative 6 plus 2, that is negative 4. And then you divide it by 2, that would be negative 2. So among here, we have negative 2, 3 and negative 2, 5. Okay, so these are the only answers possible for our problem. Next is you add 2 and 8. So 2 plus 8, that is 10. 10 divided by 2, that would be 5. So therefore, the correct answer is the third one. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? Now let us go to the next question. Solve for x. X minus 1 or the quantity x minus 1 over 4 is equal to the quantity x plus 2 over 6. Is it 7? Is it 14? Is it negative 14? Or is it negative 7? What do you think is the answer? Okay, my dear math learners, in solving this problem, what you need to do is you just cross multiply the two given fractions. So the quantity x minus 1 will be multiplied by 6 and the x plus 2 will be multiplied by 4. So if you multiply x minus 1 to 6, that would be 6x minus 6. If you multiply 4 to the x plus 2, then that would be 4x plus 8. So if you have those answers now, what you need to do is you isolate the value of x in the left side and then you transpose the value without the variable to the right side, giving you 6x minus 4x. So that would be 2x. So you have 2x as the result in the left side. Now here, we have positive 8, right? From multiplying 4 times 2. So 8 plus 6, because the 6 is already transposed in the right side. So 8 plus 6, that is 14. So you will have 2x is equal to 14. You divide both sides by 2 in order for you to cancel the value of 2 and have the remaining variable x. So that means x is equal to 7. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to the next question. Factor x squared minus 36. Is it the quantity x plus 6 times the quantity x minus 6? Is it x times the quantity x minus 36? Is it x the quantity x plus 3 times the quantity x minus 12? Or is it the quantity x plus 6 squared? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, this is the difference of two squares. Now in factoring the difference of two squares, basically what you will have is two groups of binomial in which the second term of each group will be opposite with each other. So in this case, the x squared, if you break that down, that will be x and x. And 36, if you break that down, that will be 6 and 6. But since this is negative, then that would be positive and negative. So the correct answer would be the first option. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now let us go to the next question. What measure of central tendency refers to the value that occurs most frequently in a data set? Is it range? Is it mode? Is it mean? Is it median? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, talking about the measure of central tendency, you have the three things: the mean, median, and mode. Now, by definition, the value that occurs most frequently in the given dataset, that is what we call, very good, the mode. Let us check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So I hope you got that one. Now let us go to the next question. Which rational expression cannot be simplified by canceling a common factor? Is it the quantity x squared minus 9 over the quantity x minus 3? Is it the quantity x squared plus 6x plus 9 over the quantity x plus 3? Is it x squared plus 7 over the quantity x plus 3? Or is it x squared plus 5x plus 6 over the quantity x plus 2? What do you think is the answer? Okay, my dear math learners, knowing about how to simplify a rational expression by canceling a common factor, you must consider that the numerator can be factored by its denominator. So, in the first given option, we have here 9. And one of the factors of 9 are 3 and negative 3. So, since we have here negative 3, then that could be cancelled. Alright. How about this one? We have here another 9 and we have positive 3. That can also be factored or cancelled. Now, in the third option, we have positive 7 and then 3. If you try to divide 7 by 3, it is not divisible. So therefore, there is no possibility that you can cancel this by the given denominator. So therefore, the correct answer for this problem would be the third option. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So I hope you got that one. Now let us go to the next question. Divide x squared minus 9 or the quantity x squared minus 9 over x squared, the quantity x squared minus 16 divided by the quantity x minus 3 over the quantity x minus 4. What would be the answer? Is it the quantity x minus 4 over the quantity x minus 3? Is it the quantity x plus 4 over the quantity x plus 3? Is it the quantity x plus 3 over the quantity x plus 4? Or is it the quantity x minus 3 over the quantity x minus 4? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners. Now, in dividing fractions or rational numbers, remember the rule KFC. The keep, the flip, and the change. So, we keep this one. We flip this into x minus 4 over x minus 3, and then we change this into multiplication. Now remember, in multiplying fractions, you can do cancellation. So if we factorize x squared minus 9, that would be x plus 3 times x minus 3. So since this is x minus 3, that would be cancelled. X minus 3 and x minus 3, leaving you x plus 3. Alright. So in this one, we have x squared minus 16. If you factorize that one, that would be x plus 4 and x minus 4. So we have here x minus 4. So the x minus 4 can be cancelled. So leaving you both positive or both plus as each binomial. So what we have here would be, it's either this one or this one, right? But since we have here the x squared minus 9, so the factor of that is this one. So therefore, when cancelled, this will be our numerator. So the x plus 3. So that would be the third option. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now let us go to the next question. Simplify 12x to the power of 4y cubed over 3xy. Is it 4xy? Is it 36x cubed y squared? Is it 36x to the fourth y cubed? Or is it 4x cubed y squared? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, in simplifying this kind of given, we need to apply the quotient rule. Now, the quotient rule means when you divide rational expressions or rational algebraic expressions, the numerical coefficient will be divided normally. So 12 divided by 3, that would give you positive 4. So you have here this one or this one. Okay. Now how about the variables? When you divide variables with the same literal coefficient, what you need to do is you just subtract the exponent. So if you cannot see any exponent in the given variable, that means there is an invisible power of 1. So that means 4 minus 1, 3 minus 1. So that would give you x cubed y squared. So therefore, the correct answer would be the fourth option. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to the next question. Find the product of 6x minus 5 times the quantity 6x plus 5. Is it 36x squared plus 25? Is it 36x squared minus 60x minus 25? Is it 12x squared minus 10? Or is it 36x squared minus 25? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, this question, as you can see, they are identical except for the sign in the middle, right? So this one is minus, this one is plus. Now, we have already been talking earlier that when we try to factorize a certain difference of two squares, basically the result of that one will be two groups in which the first terms of each group are the roots of the original first term, while the second term of each group will be the square roots of the original second term. So here, in our situation, we have a reverse scenario. So what we need to do is you just multiply the first terms and the last terms. So 6x times 6x, that will be 36x squared. Negative 5 times positive 5, that would be negative 25. So that will give you the fourth option. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to the next question. What is the product of 5x squared times 4x? Is it 20x cubed? Is it 9x cubed? Is it 9x squared? Or is it 20x squared? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, this is the application of the law of exponents. Now, according to the law of exponents, if you have numerical coefficient, you just multiply them immediately. And if you have variables, with the same variable, you just copy the variable and then add the exponents. So we have here 2, we have here the invisible 1. So that would give you 5 times 4, 20. Then 2 plus 1, that would be 3. So that would be 20x cube, and that is the first option. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So, my dear math learners, I just like to congratulate you for finishing the first part of our reviewer series. If you find this helpful, please click the subscribe button and notification bell, as well as share this to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates. Now, without further ado, let's go to the next part.